Former FBI Director James Comey has pleaded not guilty this morning to charges he lied to Congress back in 2020. Comey made his first court appearance today in Alexandria, Virginia. This is a case brought by the Justice Department and has amplified concerns that they're being weaponized in pursuit of President Trump's political enemies. The indictment followed Trump publicly asking Attorney General Pam Bondi to take action against Comey. Scripps News national correspondent Stephanie Liebergen live outside the courthouse for us this morning. And Stephanie, I know we didn't have cameras in the courthouse, but tell us what happened before and while James Comey was in the courthouse.
Hey, Holly, good morning. Well, it was certainly a packed courtroom. There was the initial courtroom was packed full, and there was an overflow courtroom set up for what ended up being an initial appearance for James Comey and the arraignment, kind of two typically separate things happening at once. So what we got from this hearing today was a little bit of information on what the defense is going to look like for James Comey. His defense attorney saying that he plans to file a motion arguing a vindictive and selective prosecution of James Comey. That's going to be one of the first motions that he wants the court to address. We also got other information, as I look down at my notes here, Holly, from being in the courtroom, that they also plan to file motions claiming outrageous conduct by the government. So there are a number of motions that the defense is planning to file ahead of the trial in this case. But we did get a couple of key dates set in this hearing. So there are going to be hearings, oral arguments about the motions that are filed from the defense. It's going to come in two phases. We're first going to get our next hearing on November 19th. That will address one of the major motions that'll be coming, that vindictive prosecution motion from the defense. That'll be addressed in court in oral arguments November 19th. And there'll be another hearing on December 9th to address the second tranche of motions that the defense plans to file. And currently, trial is set for January 5th. Although the defense did say they are hoping to avoid a trial altogether. I will say the federal judge seemed a little surprised that this case wasn't going to abide by the speedy trial deadline, which is a 70-day deadline that is sometimes met and kept in these types of cases. The judge said this case seems pretty clear. He seemed certainly surprised that both sides, the government and the defense, weren't going to be ready for trial in mid-December. So everything's just bumped back a few weeks. But this arraignment, this initial hearing, took about 30 minutes. It was a bit longer than some legal experts expect. I was standing in line with a clerk for another judge from this courthouse saying that he had only expected this hearing to be about 15 minutes or so. I'm saying that it's going to be pretty uninteresting, but it ended up giving us certainly some insight, Holly, into what exactly the defense for James Comey is going to be. He, of course, stood up and said just a couple words confirming that he had the charges and everything read to him. It was his attorneys who entered that not guilty plea on his behalf. And we had Lindsey Halligan, the newly appointed interim attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, another motion that we are expecting the defense to file in this case, arguing that her appointment was unlawful, and that will be heard by a separate judge. So there's a lot of moving pieces that we got some certain insight today into what exactly the next few weeks, what exactly the court filings are going to look like as James Comey and his legal defense team try to defend himself against these two charges.
All right. Thank you for laying that all out for us. We will continue to check back with you, Stephanie Liebergen.